Ooh, spooky red light. Ooh. Just kidding, it's a heat lamp. Not that... I don't know where I was going with that. I was gonna be like, ooh, Doomslayer time. But then I was like, oh, you're just a fool. Anyway, it's Bring Me the Boa here, and like I said, I'm gonna turn that off. It's actually kind of warm. Hey. Boop. Yeah, so like I said, well, for me it's earlier, but I don't know when this video is gonna be up versus you know, when it's actually like versus when it's filmed in comparison to the one on the new Hognose. She's right above me, so that's what the red light was the heat lamp. I need to get better at like gags and stuff, making my videos more amusing. But anyway, so update on the mice. I have 2 bins here of mice. I have the clamps on. Trying out the clamps aren't necessary, but I still keep the clamps on because I like to feel secure. But so this is Ravioli. Gia was the first to have babies. She ate some of her babies, and so then I had to humanely euthanize them, I guess is the best way to put it, because I am breeding mice for food for my snakes. Now, do I recommend this for everybody? No. But if you remember how I said I was going to do some updates, and I had the one mom who was really good with her babies. Well, her babies are actually in this bin. She's actually with the male right now. I fattened her back up. She's ready to breed again. And now I have a little bit of a cycle. But I only kept 4 babies from her litter of 18. So, I had to put down a few of them. I don't know how else to, like, say it. But that's what I did. It's like really ominous, because for me on like the little screen on the side of the camera, it like looks like my eyes are shadowed out and it looks like I'm evil. I'm gonna move that just so it doesn't bug me as much. But move it up to like right there. That should fix that, because I don't know if it's actually gonna show up in video or not. Plus I don't have the slouch now, and when I'm referencing the mice again, I'm just gonna point back down at them. But yeah. It's actually been kind of rewarding having these mice. Stromboli is their mom. Ravioli is this one. She's actually been a good mother this time around. At first I thought she wasn't. I thought she wasn't feeding them. We took half of the babies, so she had 10. She has 5 now. We're letting them grow a little bit bigger. And then we're putting down the rest for food. And I try to make it a point that none of them are wasted. Because I've raised these mice. I've gotten emotionally attached to the babies after they've been born. And watching them grow. I actually do not like putting them down, so to speak. I don't know how else to phrase it other than like killing them. But I don't like saying that. But I mean, it's not inaccurate. I killed them. I put them down. Because I didn't want to make someone else do it for mice that I was raising, and then it's cost efficient for me, but not only that, it helps me kind of cover all ends. I know that my mice are getting fed well, they're getting cared for well, and therefore I know that my snakes are getting quality food. It's just all around, I'm kind of like trying to do what the Rockefeller Company did, how like, you know, they got the oil, they refined the oil, they also bought out the trucks, and they bought out the truck making company. No, they didn't do that. I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. It was something like that, where it's not a monopoly, but it's, or is it a monopoly? Gosh, I need to go back and do some more economic research. Anyway, besides the point, it takes out some of the middlemen. Like, obviously I still have to go get rats. I'm not going to be doing this with rats. They are too big, they're too smart, they're too sweet. I feel guilty enough with the mice doing it. I cannot do it to a rat. So, and I actually like my mice there. The ones that are breeding and producing for me are my pets by all means. It's just their babies are not. They are food for my snakes and supplementary diet parts to my leopard geckos. So, and that's just how it is, and I know that this is what would happen in nature, and I'm trying to not like be too torn up about it. I don't like killing them. It brings me no pleasure in it, but since I am doing this for my snakes, it has to be done, and I'm not going to put my snakes' lives in danger with the rodents fighting back, even though I know that's what would happen in nature. I personally do not believe that letting the mice suffer like that is worth it if there's a better alternative, which with how I put the mice out, it was like that. There was no suffering involved. Oop. So, yeah. I tried to make it as quick and painless as possible. And it was. And so now that I know how to do it, I'm going to continue to do this. Especially now with quarantine and lockdown taking effect with coronavirus. Weirdly enough, I'm probably going to do a video on this because it's just weird and it's just something interesting. Coronavirus has actually started to cause a shortage at some of my local pet stores rodent supplies. And because of that, I'm assuming that I wouldn't say price gouging, but a price increase is coming because they're becoming more difficult. And fun fact, you can't ship live rodents across state lines. I learned about this recently. Because I was learning about the mice and stuff. And because I want to know if you could buy, like, laboratory mice that were alive. And so I could use them for breeding, because if they're laboratory grade, I assume, they'll be good for breeding for rodents to feed to my snakes. And the red burp thing. Sorry, my scalp's really itchy. Yeah, it basically was like, unless it's for like laboratory purposes, and even then it's iffy. You're not allowed to ship mice over state lines. You can bring them, like you can drive them across state lines, but you cannot ship them across state lines, which I found very interesting, which I'm going to have to look more into that at another time, but yeah. But I cleaned these bins yesterday, and mice, just so you know, if you've never had them, are little poop machines and urine machines. I had them in my bathtub yesterday while I was cleaning the stuff and gave them like a little bath. Not with soap, because I read online that using soap can strip their skin of like essential oils. Not like the Karen essential oils. Like this lavender oil is gonna cure my son's cancer type of essential oil. Like essential, like it needs to be there for it to biologically function. Essential. So by all means, it is legitimately essential for the rodents. Which is why I didn't use soap, because I didn't want them to end up getting like rashes or skin infections or fur problems or anything like that. But yeah, these four, it's been amazing to watch them grow. I'm gonna switch the camera angles again, just because. And I'm also trying to inject more of my personality into my videos, if that hasn't become apparent at this point. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys the mice. I'm gonna try to use a similar angle that I did for the one with the unboxing. I think right about there ought to be good. Yeah, that ought to be good. I don't know why I keep saying ought to be. But audible. Just kidding. Shouldn't use say brand names like that in jokes, probably. But hey, So out of the 4 mice that I kept, I took it was quite a gamble for me actually, because I kept them to bolster my breeding stock, because I knew that because of the mice shortages that were already starting to happen, that by the time that Corona went full swing, which that was like a couple weeks ago, or 2.5, 3 weeks ish ago, when I filmed the first mouse video, that I was like, yeah, Corona definitely is on the rise, and it's not stopping anytime soon. So I'm just gonna keep some mice back from the breeding, and I'm not gonna feed all of them. I'm not gonna cull all of them. So I didn't, and I kept 4, and it was kind of like a gamble, like, oh, how many, what type of ratio am I gonna get? Is it gonna be like a 50-50 ratio of male to female, or a 3-to-1, 3 males, 1 female, a 3-to-1, 1 male, 3 females, which actually for breeding is the preferable, because you never, when you're breeding stuff, you never want the amount of males to surpass the amount of females, which ironically is how my hog noses are, but shush. Well, they're getting closer to being equal now, but I need 2 more females, 1 female tricolor, and then 1 female western hognose. But I actually hit the jackpot with the gamble. I'll move the camera over this way a little, because in here I have 1 male and 3 females. So that was like the jackpot, because basically that means that I now have 2 males and a total of 5, wait, right? Yeah, 2 males and 5 females, which is almost a 1-to-3 ratio across the board, which would have been fantastic to have, but I did not keep 5. So I don't think I'm going to keep any more back. Out of every 4 generations, I think I will keep back a few, just to make sure that I have a breeding stock that will produce well. For retired breed, is that the garbage can being moved? I think so. For the normally I don't film in the evenings when everyone's out doing stuff, but then again it's Corona time, so everyone's out doing stuff. Hey, it's Corona time. But I want to make sure that that each generation is able to produce and continue on, so that I can continue to have a good breeding stock. And well, in order to maintain a good breeding stock, you need to maintain a population. And so that's why out of every 4 I've decided I'm going to keep back some, because I do want the most fertile of them to be kept back. And then this is going to be the sad part, is with the adults that aren't producing well, I'm going to have to cull them like I do with the babies, with majority of the babies, because if they're not producing well, sorry, I spaced out because I heard people talking. If I don't cull the adults off that are no longer producing well, I'll end up having this overstock of retired breeder mice with poor genetics, so they're gonna have issues probably as they get older for the most part. I do intend on eventually buying a couple more mice to add into the breeding stock, but that's not going to be for another year or 2, because well, I just, more so for me, one of the things I want to do is aesthetically, I want to make some gray mice. I did last time. I successfully bred mice, and I had a wide array of colors, and I kind of liked that. So this time around, I kind of want to do that as well. So I'm going to try. But for the time being, I just have the classic albino mice. But it's been very rewarding, even though I did have to cull some of them. It's been rewarding feeding them. They kind of just do everything on their own, really. I really have not had to do much of anything other than just supply them with food and water and bedding. That's it. And cleaning the cages. Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice. I didn't mean to spook you. But they really do everything else themselves. They clean themselves. They entertain themselves. Also, don't worry. I'm not going to keep these guys confined to this bin. I'm just currently waiting for some stuff to be shipped from Petco to my house. Because I have an old cage that I want to use for these guys. That the tube broke. It's one of those Katie brand glow in the dark 2-story. Well, it's not even really 2 stories because it just has a nesting box in the top built in that you can take in and out, and I guess it'd just be one. It's kind of like the one I showed off in the first video with the mice, but it's glow in the dark. It's all white themed. But it has a tube that goes on the outside. It cracked in half in my garage, and I do not know where the other half went. If I could, I'd just stick them back together because you can take them apart. And I'm guessing that as a stupid 13 to 14-year-old, I was like, oh, cool, I can take it apart. I'm going to take it apart. And I lost the part. So, like a failed actor. And it's somewhere in my garage. The part is somewhere in my garage. And that's why I'm not using that one, because I can't. So once that gets in, they only come in packs of 3. So yeah, it's going to be a double tubed cage. It's going to look, oh, I could use these like handles or something. But anyway, it's going to be interesting-ish. But they're not going to be living in these. I preferred to have these as like raising bins / like, you know, mommy bins. The problem is hi Ravioli. Hey, what are you doing in there? But I forgot what I was going on about. Oh yeah, basically these are just raising bins, and just to have the moms in while they're pregnant to make sure that no new scents are added to the babies on accident, because I do not want a repeat of the mom eating them. But that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to progressively make more update videos. I wanted to make a couple others when I decided to keep these 4, and then as they aged, but they're pretty much almost adults now. So yeah. That's the update 1 on my mice colony, my mice breeding colony, breeding project, whatever you want to call it. It'll probably be accurate. But yeah, this is one of those interesting things that a lot of people like that are just into like snakes and stuff, but like they either never want to own one, or they owned one before but they're not really super into it because of bad experience or whatever. Like people who own mice but don't want to breed them. This is an interesting thing that breeders have to think about, is because you need to eventually do like a cost analysis, and it's cheaper to produce your own mice than to go out and buy them. So, because it's approximately $1 a mouse when you go out and buy at most pet stores. It's in between $1 and $1.08, I think is what I did the math on average for frozen rodents. And it costs me approximately 72 cents per mouse. After, of course, the initial cost of buying the initial breeding stock, it's 75 cents, and it's cheaper. But that's not the only reason why. It's actually been really, really fun raising the mice. I've actually gotten really attached. I haven't named any of these 4 in here, though. So if you guys have any ideas, I'm trying to stick to Italian food, because I am impulse named their dad Chef, because I was like, oh, well, when people ask me what his name is, I'll be like, his name's Chef. And there was no real thought process behind it, and then I named Stromboli and Ravioli. So that sounded really dumb, because people wanted to ask what his name was. So his name's Chef. his name be Chef, everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any name ideas, put them down in the comments. I'm really gonna be taking anything. Like lasagna, tortuga, even though that's turtle. I say that and I sound like Shrek. But yeah, any names, ideas would be appreciated if you have any. Please don't put Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a rat. These are mice. I don't know how else to... I really don't want to name a mouse Ratatouille. Something that has the word rat in it. Because they're mice. If I get a rat, Ratatouille would be funny. But I don't know why. I just think it'd be stupid naming a mouse Ratatouille. But anyways, that I've droned on enough about the mice and Ratatouille and Chef. So put your name or put any name ideas down in the comment section. If you guys have any questions about breeding mice or reptiles or rodents or insects, put them in the comment section as well, or PM me on Instagram, because guess what, baby, the weird question series is coming back after its brief departure. For me, it's been a long departure because I haven't filmed one in like 3 months. So start bringing those questions back. I really look forward to answering to them, and it gives me something to do, but then also it gives me something educational to do, I guess, because even if it's like, if people, that's a dumb question, to me, I find interest in most questions. I won't say generally all, but there are some that I'm like, why are you asking me this? But I'm still going to answer them. Yeah, this has been Bring Me the Boa. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and obviously all the comment ideas I just gave. At least leave something for me to look at during these trying times. Please, good sir. Please.